Hello, my galactic soul family. Welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Okay, guys, it's 2022, and I'm sure by now most of you have heard many people talk about the spiritual awakening or a spiritual awakening, or you've heard the word spiritual awakening. And how it can lead to enlightenment and how it can lead to meeting more enlightened people. But do you know what a spiritual awakening really is? How many of you guys know? Some of you guys that have been following me for a long time, I know you know. But I know there's a lot of new people that are coming across my channel or will be guided to this video, and they may not know what a spiritual awakening really means. So long story short, actually this is not going to be a short story, or a short video I should say, but long story short, we are spirits having a human experience. Okay, that's the long story short version. If you have time and you like long videos like I do, I love when my favorite spiritual teachers or gurus have long YouTube videos or podcasts, because I clean the house and I do stuff while I listen to them. So if you have time and you're interested in learning what a spiritual awakening really means, then join me, because this is probably going to be an hour. Most of my videos are always about an hour. I have a really hard time keeping my content short. I've tried, I have so much to say and I can never fit it into 30 minutes. Okay, so let's get started, because, it's already going to be an hour at least. So in our normal state of consciousness, we are completely identified with me, the person, this body, personal history, personality, and life situation. Most people take this personal me to be the totality of who they are. But your existence goes beyond the confines of the me or the I or the ego. Remember, we are spirits. We are spirit having this human being experience. We're having this experience of being in this human body, just being, living, doing life in this spacesuit, meat sack, skin suit, avatar, whatever it is you want to call it, your body, your temple, your house. This is your temporary house for your spirit right now. Okay? So, this person you are is an act. You can kind of think of it as you are in drag right now. You're playing a role. So, for example, I'm Gabbie, Gabrielle, Witchy Vibes 11. I play many roles, okay? So, I'm Gabbie, playing out this teaching role, pretending to teach you something spiritual that you already know, but you forgot that you know it because you were born with this like spiritual amnesia, okay? And then you have to relearn everything. And if you think that's confusing, you're actually me and I'm actually you, playing out different roles, pretending that we don't know each other. When in reality, we are one. We are of the same. Fractal of source, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, so I'm playing school right now, if you think about it. I'm your teacher at this moment. I'm teaching you something. I'm literally not teaching you anything in reality because I am you, pretending to learn. Yeah, that's like a mind, right? So my perspective of the awakening is that I am somebody learning to become nobody. I know I just like Alice in Wonderland you. So stick with me. I was born Gabrielle, blonde hair, female. If I go with Western astrology, I'm a Leo. If I'm going with sidereal astrology, I am a Cancer. I guess it just depends on what role I'm going to play that day. I was a property manager. I've played the role of a restaurant manager. I've played the role of a road manager. I play the role as a mom, a wife, a daughter. These are all roles I play. I act out all these roles, all these air quotes, okay, people. These are the somebodies I was told I needed to be as I live in this body and play out Gabrielle. But Gabrielle woke up one day and realized I'm not really this Gabrielle character that I was programmed to be. I was trained to be her. I was taught to be her. I was groomed to be her. By my parents, by society. So I had a moment of conscious awareness that I'm not really Gabrielle. Like, I didn't give myself that name. My parents did. I'm nobody, pretending to be somebody. I'm spirit, having this human experience. I am now conscious of this, and I want to learn how to become nobody while living in this avatar that somebody calls Gabbie. I'm now aware I am spirit acting. It's really weird. Once you know, it's like you can't unknow. It's really weird, especially when you're aware of everything that's going on around you and you know that everybody's acting. So like when you get pulled over by a police, by a cop, and he comes up to your car, like I don't even get mad anymore because I'm like, okay, cool. You want to play the role as the cop? Let's do this. I'm the person that was speeding, got pulled over. I'm going to get the ticket. And in this act, in this scene, you're going to write me a ticket. And you're probably thinking that you're going to trigger a reaction. But because I'm consciously aware of what's going on, I'm not going to give, this cop a reaction. All I can do is just laugh. Like, just take the damn ticket and just be like, okay, that's cut, scene closed, I'm aware that awakening is different for everyone. So, a lot of you may not get what I'm saying and you're probably like, this girl's nuts, click, swipe, close, click, whatever. And you're on to the next video or whatever. But if you're new to my content, if you're new to my channel, and you're still with me, you are meant to be here. So I want to welcome you again. And if you are one of my, if you're one of the souls that have been with me, that have subscribed to my channel years ago, something that I say may like click or trigger you to help you understand something that you've been seeking for a long time. And it might help you to become aware that you are acting too, and help you understand, what's really going on around you. So spiritual awakenings can be, uneasy, unnerving in the beginning, because they often cause us to, ask a lot of questions about ourselves, like, who am I? And why am I here? I've asked myself that so many times throughout my years. But there can, also be a certain element of wonder and excitement when we find ourselves suddenly feeling very alive. Remember, you're playing this role, and when you figure it out, you're like, whoa, I've never felt so alive. It's really an awesome feeling. So the idea of the spiritual awakening was, I do a lot of reading. So in my reading that I found, I see that the spiritual awakening was mostly popularized by a gentleman named Carl Jung, and he describes the process as coming back to the original self. That's what all the literature usually says. But the experience of rising to a higher state of consciousness has always been a very strong part of, what it means to be human. Now, a spiritual awakening can be, triggered by anything. Literally, it could be triggered by anything. It could be triggered like a life-changing, something that's life-changing in your life. Something huge can trigger your awakening. Things like, getting fired, losing your job, this whole thing with the vid, a lot of people lost their job over that. So that could have been the beginning for a lot of people to start awakening. That's actually why I did this video, because I did notice that there's a lot of new souls out there that are waking up and looking for this content. They're looking for answers. So losing your job, moving away, especially if you're moving away from the home that you grew up in, a really bad car accident, any kind of accident, actually, losing somebody that you love because they passed on, crossed over, a divorce, a bad breakup can actually, trigger your awakening. And meeting somebody that is like, somebody that you resonate with really well, and you're like, wow, you remind me of me. I consider that as meeting your twin flame, somebody that is kind of like you, but kind of opposite of you, but you kind of mesh, and it's like you complete each other. Meeting your soulmate could be something that triggers your awakening. So spiritual awakenings can be spontaneous, but for most, they are triggered by major life changes or traumas, such as something life-threatening, maybe a near-death experience, illnesses, a really bad accident, car accident, any kind of accident, divorce, breakup, pandemics, midlife crisis, mental health crisis, And when I say mental health crisis, I mean something like depression or anxiety, something like that. But ultimately, anything that encourages or forces you to look at your life from a more spiritual perspective can set you on a path towards an awakening. Because when something huge happens to you, something critical, something traumatic, you're like, oh God, that's when you start seeking God. God, help me. I need the answers. Jesus, I need you. Not everybody goes the religious route. Some people do, some people don't. Some people go the religious route but end up, you know, um, searching for their spiritual growth without religion. I don't know how to put that to make it sound nice. Because I notice I have a friend that is very spiritual, and then he's starting to read, the Bible and stuff like that. And I think he thinks that I have a bad outlook on it. I really don't. I have my opinions. And then I got people that think that because I don't read the Bible that I don't believe in God. I do believe in God, but I don't call him God. Not all the time. Like, I don't look at him as God like most people do. He's like creator. He. It's not even a he. It's creator. It's source. It's consciousness. It's energy. It's a higher power. It's not man. If anything, if it was to be a gender, I believe it to be a woman, a feminine gender. But like, I don't even want to go there right now because this is about awakening. But yeah, so, you know, something traumatic can set you on your path to an awakening, and that's seeking. It's not seeking. It's forcing you to ask more questions and kind of like step out of the box, step outside of your comfort zone, and try to understand yourself, with more awareness, if that makes sense. So let's talk about the signs and symptoms of a spiritual awakening. Okay, so sign symptom number 1. You feel disconnected or detached at first, at the beginning of your spiritual awakening. The spiritual awakening process, I don't know if you can hear my cat. She's snoring and I'm trying to talk and her snoring is getting louder. So the spiritual awakening process can feel overwhelming and very confusing. It can feel like everything you thought to be true about your life was a lie. You may feel disconnected and detached from the things and people you used to love and enjoy. That was the hardest part for me when I started to go through my awakening consciously. I detached from a lot of people, that's including family and very, very close friends. And it's not because we just didn't have things in common. And also I felt weird, like uncomfortable around people all of a sudden. I had this awareness and I didn't know what was going on. And they weren't anybody that I could talk to. Like, they didn't understand me. They just looked at me funny. And it's like I felt that I needed to find like other people that were like me, so I could talk to them and express to them what I was feeling and what I was going through, because I just didn't understand what was happening. And I didn't find that comfort and that support with my family and my older friends. Number 2, you've re-evaluated your beliefs. A spiritual awakening will likely cause you to revise what you believe in spiritually. So I used to go to church, and once I consciously went through my awakening, church was no longer the truth for me. I started to see God differently than what was being taught in the churches. And mind you, I went to many different churches. I've been to Catholic, I've been to Jehovah, I've been to Russian Orthodox, I've been to Born Again, Protestant. I know I'm leaving some stuff out, but I've just been to a lot of different churches. I was just curious. I was very curious about what people were doing in church and who they were praying to, and did it really help them? And I don't know. I have so many stories, but I know that if I talk about it, it's just going to make this video so much longer. It just, it wasn't true for me. I didn't feel, I don't know, it didn't feel authentic to me. It felt fake. It felt scripted. Church felt scripted. Like like the priests and fathers and you know the guy up there reading the Bible, it just felt really like he went to school to be this pastor, this preacher, this father or whatever. And it's like they all had the same story. They all read the same word. And some places judged you if you went there wearing jeans or makeup and jewelry. And I don't know. I felt like, especially Christians, I felt like if you were a person that was, I don't know, let's say an alcoholic or somebody that was down on their luck and they needed help, or if they were caught up in a bad relationship or got themselves into some heavy trouble, you would think the church was there to help you. But I've witnessed churches turn people away and then gossip about the people they turned away. And I was just like, wow. It's like, you guys are not practicing what you preach. And it wasn't true for me. So I started to see God differently than what was being taught in the churches. So God is not a judgmental man sitting on a cloud, sitting at a gate, to heaven, holding a staff, casting people to hell for sinning. Okay? I believe we are here on Gaia, on Earth, being this soul in this human body being. We're beings. We're human beings. We're here to learn and have these experiences and make these mistakes and go through these hardships, go through these achievements. Okay? We're here just to have a lot of different experiences because that's how we learn. So I believe we are here learning and experiencing. And I don't know why I can't get this out my mouth. What I might think that is bad is good in your eyes because it's all perspective. We all have different perspectives. You are learning something different than I am. Even though we might be having the same experience or a similar experience, you're walking a different path. We're all just we're fractals of source. My perspective is we're fractals of source and we are one. I am you, you are me. We're kind of like, we're able to interact with each other, but we're on different timelines, on different paths, simultaneously just connecting, if that makes sense. Sometimes I feel like I should go live with these videos just in case somebody has a question. So I honestly believe that we're here learning and experiencing. We are here together on our own individual journey to self, to find our way back to source, to probably reincarnate and do it all over again on a different galaxy. Who knows? So your religious beliefs may be changing, and whether that means connecting deeply with a new religion or belief or, something else that, something else like, I don't know. It could be anything else, like quitting your job to find your real passion, this reevaluation of your beliefs can be spiritual, spiritually connected, or it could just be you trying to figure out what role you're going to play. You're going to quit your job and become a painter or, do arts and crafts or become a musician. So you figure out pretty quickly that your priorities are a lot different now, likely a lot different because, not everybody's going to experience this. So number 3, your dreams may be more vivid. My dreams have always been vivid, but I've talked to a lot of people that go through their spiritual awakening and they tell me that they're now having these very vivid dreams. So pay attention to your dreams, and I want to give you some advice. You can take it or leave it, doesn't matter. Keep a dream journal by your bed, because your dreams have a meaning. The meanings of your dreams and how they connect to your journey may become more apparent to you along the way. So I suggest that you keep a dream journal, close by, or record your dreams on your audio app or your cell phone, or, somehow record your dreams. And then you can write them down on paper later on after you caffeinate or whatever it is you do in the morning to get yourself going. So I usually, make the mistake and say that, I'll remember that dream. I'll record them, later on when I get up. And then later on when I get up, I forget the dream, the whole dream, and nothing but the dream. No, but I do. I forget the whole dream. And then I'll be like doing dishes or something. And I'll be like, oh, snap. I was dreaming last night and I dreamt about a boat. And then I'll sit there and I'll be like racking my brain trying to figure out what else I can remember about that boat. But then there's times when I just totally forget that I dreamed, and it kind of sucks because I know that dreams have meanings. They have messages for you. So it's important, if you can remember and you feel guided, document your dreams. Okay? Let's see here. I always use the phrase by journaling, by doing dream journaling and doing your, another journal to document your spiritual awakening. I feel like that's a way for you to put the puzzle pieces together as you continue your spiritual journey. Number 4, you experience more synchronicities. If you're frequently experiencing like these crazy synchronicities, like maybe you're thinking about someone and all of a sudden you bump into them at the grocery store. Or maybe they even call you or text you or DM you. Or maybe you're seeing numbers like 1111, 1234, 222, 555, 911, 616, 717. Real quick, not all of those are actual synchronicities. Some of them are awakening codes and some of them are transmission codes, by the way. I have done videos on that, but I can do refreshers. So maybe you're seeing like strange numbers, and it doesn't have to be like 555. It could be like 12, 46. I don't know, something that's, something that you're syncing up to. So you might be seeing these numbers all the time. And like I said, some have messages, some are transmission codes that your subconscious mind will automatically know what they mean. So I suggest when you see and experience these synchronicities, I suggest that you journal and document your syncs. Okay? Some of the numbers have genetic meanings and may resonate with you, but they could mean something entirely different for you or have a deeper message for you. Meaning, if you see 1111 all the time, or let's not use that one. If you see 911 all the time, you might go and look up angel number 911 or just look up the meaning of 911. And you might get this whole, paragraph of what it means. That's what it means generically for whoever created that post. And it might resonate with you. And that's great if it does. However, you should still document it because there could be a deeper message for you, a deeper meaning for you. Because 9/11, call to action, generic call to action, or you can break it down, 9 and what 11 means. But 9/11 for you might be like a warning that something huge is about to shift in your life. So just be on your toes, stay aware, something like that. 717 is definitely a transmission code, and you don't need to know what the transmission codes are consciously because your subconscious will automatically know. So don't go driving yourself crazy looking up these transmission codes, okay? And I'm just sharing because that's my experience. I drove myself crazy looking for these codes, and it drove me so crazy that I started to do numerology. Okay? So, yeah. So just document what you're seeing, and when you're documenting the numbers that you're seeing or whatever it is that you're experiencing, document what you were thinking, what you were saying, and what you were doing at the time, and put that, in your journal. And in a few months, take your journal out to see if you can figure out the message on a deeper level. If you can't, don't go crazy. Pull it out in a year. And see if you could put the puzzle pieces together and see if anything resonates with you. You will definitely have your aha moment. I use 9/11 because that was my awakening code. I saw 9/11 everywhere. And at the time that I saw it, it gave me such a fear. Like I thought something was bad. I thought somebody was going to die. I thought something really awful was going to happen because I started to see 9/11 after the actual 9/11 happened. And I thought it had something to do with that or something. I thought we were going to go to war or something horrible was going to happen. But also a lot of things were shifting in my life. And it was actually my call to action, to wake up and be this light warrior that I am, to, get on the ball, to learn about what I'm going through, to be conscious of it so I can help others become conscious of it. And that's why I created this YouTube video or channel platform. So I don't always go by the generic meanings, but sometimes I do. Just depends if it resonates. I do document, and over the years, some of the number syncs have a deeper meaning for me. So sometimes the numbers or the syncs you see could just mean that it's a sign, that you're on the spiritual path. And it can just be that simple. Okay, it doesn't have to be a whole story. Number 5, your relationships begin to shift and change. Spiritual awakenings are transformative. And the people in your life won't always be able to understand that or appreciate it. You might feel like your loved ones, they don't understand you anymore because you're changing, and they don't like the person that you're changing into because they don't understand you. And if that happens for you, you can just ask your loved ones to respect what you're going through, reminding them that they don't have to resonate with your awakening, but they have to respect you. And if they refuse, I suggest that you just cut the cord, cut them loose. I cut the cord and released everyone and everything that lowered my vibration and no longer served my higher self. Meaning, if they didn't support me and if they brought drama to me and continued to throw shade at me because they didn't understand me, I cut them all. I cut the ties. I cut the cord, and I did that mostly with family. I did do it with friends, but family was the one that was really. But I don't know. We all have our family issues, but I have a family that is not. We used to be very close, but we're very disconnected. The love is not there, or maybe the love is not there for me. I used to be very, very close to. We all used to be very, very close, and I don't know, there's a disconnect for sure. So I didn't have the privilege to say, if you don't respect me, they were just like, they didn't care. I cut the cord anyways, but they just didn't care. There was no understanding. I mean, you could cut the cord with these people and still be civil, still talk to them, just create boundaries. So again, I cut ties with family, friends, and coworkers. I cut the cord, just snip, snip, and I created these boundaries. There are exceptions to the rule. Does not mean that you have to be rude to these people, like I just said. It just means you limit the time that you spend with them. You create boundaries while engaging with them. Some people may go away forever, and that's okay. It could be a blessing in disguise. Even if it's family and they go away forever, it's okay. It's probably the path that they were supposed to take. You were just more aware that you needed to step on another path and keep going before they did. Just send them away with love. Doesn't mean you have to have malice or, any darkness in your heart. Just send them away with love. So I'm trying to shine my light, not blow my candle out. Okay, so that's why I chose to cut the cord, with anybody that tried to blow my light out. Because I'm trying to grow, and the only way that I can glow is by sending these people away. So if you continue to be the draft blowing out my light, I will create a wall to keep you out and only let you in when you learn to blow your shade in the other direction and not at me. So that's what I tell myself when I'm cutting people off that I love. And it doesn't always have to be forever, okay? People do come around, and your heart has more love in it. You've learned to you've learned to open your heart chakra, and you've learned how to love unconditionally. And when those people do come around that have been away for years, you're kind about it, and your presence about it is welcoming, and it doesn't cause such an awkward, situation when you guys do meet up again. At least that's how that's how I've experienced it. Number 6, you feel the call. You feel a calling. You feel spiritually like something spiritually is becoming an important part of your life. It would be hard to ignore the call from your higher self as you go through this process, especially when you learn how to connect with your higher self. So the desire to find meaning and fulfillment within your spirituality will likely become, one of your biggest priorities. And that's why your life is going to be changing so much, because you're going to make it a priority, to go where you're being called. And it doesn't have to be physically going, mentally you can go where you hear the call too. So keep that in mind. You'll most likely go seeking for spiritual and esoteric knowledge, at every single opportunity that you can get. You'll probably be searching for everything, anything, just looking for answers in books, Google, YouTube. That's most likely the reason that you are listening to me right now and you're still here, because something is resonating with you, okay? You were guided here. You didn't just find my video by mistake. This is not a coincidence, okay? You are here for a reason. Remember that. You're part of my soul family if you've made it this far. And if you're new, say hello down there, in the comments area, because the rest of the soul family will pop out and they'll be like, hey, hi, because we're all family here. All right? So you're not here by accident or coincidence. There is no such thing as coincidences. Everything has a reason. Everything has a purpose. You are here for a reason. You'll feel the truth once you find it, because it will give you a feeling. I don't know what your feeling is, but if I had to describe it, it would be like a satisfying feeling in your gut, in your solar plexus. I don't know, like butterflies or swirly feeling. I don't know, you'll just know. You'll just have this feeling like, I like this feeling. And you'll keep coming back. And you'll keep pursuing what you're doing because it feels so good. because that's truth. That's love. So if you're still listening, I may be the one, or I may be one of your puzzle pieces. Or maybe, just maybe, I'm triggering you. Either way, it's a reason for your growth to self-awareness, aka the awakening, your ascension process. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I got distracted. Anyways, moving on. Number 7, you feel more intuitive. That's another sign that you're going through this awakening, is having this new energy coming into your life, this, ability of, having this intuition start to activate or become heightened, or other new psychic intuitive abilities start showing up. And by the way, they were always there. They were just buried beneath the layers and layers and layers of your ego. You're just peeling away layers of your ego as you start waking up, like an onion. Peel, 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 peel. And then all of a sudden, poof, out blooms this beautiful psychic ability, or poof, the psychic ability that you've always had has become so heightened. And it gives you all these, wonderful feelings and abilities, and it's just wonderful. It's a beautiful feeling. So you're becoming more intuitive, most likely, is number 7. And now that you've awakened or are going through the awakening, it's triggering your gifts to become online. You may start to also see things around you, like maybe sparks of light or flashes of light, or like you might see like little shadows in the corner of your eyes. Now, don't get scared. Everybody always sees shadow people and shadows in the corner of the eye. And the first thing they go to is, it's a demon. That's because society has programmed you to believe that you are surrounded by demons and you need to go to church and talk to a pastor, or, confess your sins to another man, and yada, 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 yada. It's not always demonic. Whatever you're vibing is what you are attracting. So if you're vibing low and you're grumpy and yucky and bitchy, and I don't know, if you're just scared and you're in fear, demons feed off that shit. So you probably are, attracting demons. But if you're a happy person and you're very positive and, everything is sunshine and rainbows and sprinkles and kittens and hummingbirds, then what you're attracting is angelic energy, or I don't know, positive, beautiful love energy. That's what you're attracting. So don't automatically just go to the dark place and say, oh my God, it's a demon. Okay? It's because society has programmed you that way. Get that out of your head. Keep your vibration high and you'll have no worries. You may also experience hearing spirit, or maybe lights will start flickering around you. When lights start to flicker around you, not all the time is that spirit activity. The lights flickering could be your own energy emitting from your body, because it's so strong, because your vibration is so high that you're affecting the electronics around you. So if you are an empath and you know you're an empath, or even an intuitive empath, and you're aware of it and you practice it, you may notice, and if you are, you probably already know this, but you may notice that a lot of electronics around you act up, go wonky, or they break. And that's because it's your energy. Your energy is doing that to the electronics around you. My energy makes lights flicker. I break laptops like you don't even know. They just freeze up. The screen goes black. I can't. And or when I'm on my cell phone, it freezes up all the time or it glitches. It's crazy. My energy can be really high and really, be disruptive to what's going on around me. So grounding yourself is very important. And I did just do a video about that. So yeah, so you might experience the flickering lights and stuff like that. You might even experience things moving around you. It could be poltergeist energy. You could just be attracting that because your light is shining so bright that you're starting to attract. That's why I said you got to keep your vibration right, because you attract whatever you're vibing. So keep your vibration right. And not all the time when you see things moving around is it demonic energy. You could be attracting, spirits that for whatever reason are hanging out in this realm. And they're just letting you know that they're there because they can see you, and they know that you can hopefully see them because there's some sort of an energy match. So keep that in mind. So you might start to sense when someone is being inauthentic. This one was hard for me, and manipulative. Because your energy is so high and you're so aware and your abilities are so heightened and so strong that you can sense this in people, especially if you're an empath. And if you're an empath that didn't know you're an empath, it's going to blow your mind when you start to feel the energy of somebody being inauthentic or trying to manipulate you. And you'll just know, what their next move is before they make their next move, because you read energy first. And that's going to be one of your abilities, most likely. And everybody's an empath, just not everybody is aware that they're an empath. And when their empathic skill or ability, not skill, but ability, goes online, it can be a lot at first. It can be a lot. So it's your heightened intuition coming online. That's what it is. You'll be able to sense any inauthentic or manipulative behavior when someone is deceiving you. It is sometimes, some people say, oh, it's a curse. It's a blessing in disguise. Not all the time is it something you want to know and deal with, but it's a blessing in disguise. It can break your heart, but it's a blessing in disguise. Number 8, you will also realize everyone is on their own path. You'll eventually realize this as you figure out your own spiritual path. You'll also become more accepting of the idea that everyone else is on their own unique path. So you won't be so judgmental. Maybe you used to be very judgmental, but knowing this now, you won't be judgmental. You'll just be accepting or open to it. You might not like it, but you're accepting to it. Okay? Things like winning arguments or getting into arguments and wanting to have the last word, or convincing people that what you say is right, or convincing people of your views, that won't matter as much anymore, or even at all. Your awareness has expanded. And those things don't matter anymore. They just don't matter. Remember what I said at the beginning. You're aware that you're playing this role. They're acting. And the person that is arguing with you is just not aware yet. So just send them light. That's all you can do. Just send them light. It's like arguing with a drunk person. You're not going to win the argument. Let it go. So just let it go. You're aware. Send them love. Also, this awakening will most likely trigger you to be more service to others as you begin realizing that everything living is inherently worthy and equal. You will feel called to be of service, whether it's to people or to animals, or to the environment. It's important to you that you have a cause. You want to get behind something to make your life feel more purposeful. So if it's helping children or saving cats or picking up garbage on the planet, whatever the case may be, you're being a service to others and you're not being service to self. Not saying that service to self is bad, because you do need to be service to self to take care of yourself. But you'll also be service to others, and you'll be doing it with unconditional love. So doing this raises your vibration, and as you do this work, you will raise the vibration to life around you. So you will be helping others wake up. Okay? It may not be about changing your current role as you have this human experience, or changing what you do for a living, to survive and to pay your bills. But, it's just you approaching what you're already doing with a deeper sense of service and with more meaning in your life. Doing it with a purpose. Number 9, your spiritual teachers will find you. During an awakening, your spiritual teachers may appear everywhere with perfect timing to help you. So you might consider me as your spiritual teacher. Even though I'm a student, I'm also a teacher. But you finding this video or coming across this video or falling upon this video, you may have been guided here. We may have had a soul contract to meet like this with an audio video. And maybe I'm your first teacher. Maybe I'm your 16th teacher. I don't know. But I may be a person that needs to give you a puzzle piece so that you can continue your journey. So you'll find your spiritual teachers, or they will find you during this awakening. Your spiritual teachers literally just can appear anywhere, and they appear at the perfect time. And these don't have to be literal teachers. Like, I don't have to have a degree to do this. It doesn't have to be somebody that teaches, energy healing, or, I'm trying to think, my brain is dead. It's like, you know what I mean, right? They don't have to be literal teachers in a school. They might just be a stranger. A stranger that's being kind, that's sitting next to you on a park bench, and you guys just start talking, and you learn something from that person, or you feel something from their energy that helps you learn something. It could be a follower on one of your social media sites. It could be a friend or an acquaintance, It could be a new friend that you met by chance, and all of a sudden you guys just click, and that new friend is teaching you something about yourself. But in reality, nothing is by chance. You will learn that the longer that you walk this path, that everything happens for a reason. You might even find your teacher, your spiritual teacher or guide or guru or shaman at an actual church. It could be literally anywhere. It could literally be anyone at any time. Number 10. Going through this spiritual awakening, you do tend to feel alone. Spiritual awakenings are not easy to go through. And while there's hope for enlightenment on the other side, it can feel very lonely. Even if you're surrounded by people, it can feel very lonely. It's isolating to have your whole life just like flipped. Literally like just flipped upside down, especially if the other people in your life are not the same as you. They don't vibe with you. They don't vibe like you. So, for instance, I'm married with kids and I'm alone in a sense. I feel alone because nobody understands me. And they kind of treat me like I'm a little like, woohoo, just because they don't understand me and they don't choose to. They don't want to. It's not their time yet. So I created this channel, this platform. Well, I'm grateful that there's this platform for me to create this channel. So, us crazy people can connect and not feel so lonely and so like lost. That we can connect with like-minded people that are like us, that are able, and we're able to share what we're experiencing without feeling judged. And that's important because you want to embrace people when they're feeling whatever it is that they're feeling. Because once you start to, judge them, then they start to close down and most likely won't continue their journey. And, that's disheartening actually. But if you're meant to wake up and you're meant to move along on your journey, you will get other nudges along the way. So yeah, I created this channel for us to get together so we are not, lonely, and so we could walk this path with comfort with people that understand us. So I love how people that treat me different or have treated me differently, that literally told other people that they thought I was losing my mind or going crazy, are the same people that seek me out for guidance today. And not just guidance, they seek me out for comfort. When something that they deem crazy happens in their life, or when somebody passes away, they look for me. And you know what? I welcome them with open arms because there's no judgment. Because if they understood, they, I would hope, would have chosen to be a better person towards me. They're just still stuck in that ego, still stuck in that amnesia. They just did not know, they did not know. And I did. And it's kind of like I gave them a hall pass because I understood something they didn't. Number 11, you feel more connected to the world around you, the natural world around you, nature. I mean, I know I do. You might feel less connected with your friends and your family at first. And when that happens, a lot of us that are going through this awakening, because we have that disconnect with our friends and family, we're guided to just get out into nature, and we feel more connected to nature. Nature's healing. So I spent a great deal of my awakening, a lot of time outside in nature, taking pictures of nature in the very beginning of my conscious awakening. I bought a digital camera and I photographed everything I felt had a meaning, or I photographed everything that I looked at that brought me, peace and joy, anything that I thought was beautiful. I just took a picture of it. And that's what helped me connect with nature and helped me helped me it helped me to have a better relationship with nature and see it far beyond what we experience. Like, I looked at flowers differently. I studied them, and it's just so beautiful when you connect with nature, and I connected with birds and all kinds of animals, and I started to, you know, go down to the lake because I live by a lake and just sit there and just watch the water and feel the breeze and watch the clouds. I started to look at the sky and become a sky watcher and take pictures of clouds. And, I started to see a lot of beautiful, strange, weird animals and bugs and a lot of strange things you see when you start to connect. And it's really beautiful. And then I started to camp out in my yard just so I can sleep in the tent and take the tarp off the top of the tent so I can look at the stars. And I like to pitch my tent on a full moon and, just watch the moon at night and just listen to music and just be one with nature. It was beautiful. It is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, you know, just the world as a whole. You'll see a sense. Not you will see your sense. You'll sense your connectedness to everything, to all of it. It made me feel alive, made me appreciate my life at a deeper level, connecting with everything. It's just a beautiful thing. I guess you'll understand once you make that connection, and you'll be like, wow, I totally understand what Witchy was talking about. You see a leaf and it's so beautiful. It just fills you up with love, and you might even get a tear in your eye because you just love that leaf so much because it's that beautiful. It's just like, you think about it, I say it out loud, it sounds stupid, but in the moment, there's no words for what you're feeling. It's literally just love. It's unconditional love, and it consumes you and it fills you up, and it's a beautiful thing. Anyways, moving forward. Number 12, your senses become heightened. I know I just talked about this a minute ago. I noticed my senses became more heightened during my spiritual awakening. Others that have shared their journey with me had mentioned their senses also became heightened. So as you become more tuned into the present moment, everything becomes more like alive in a way. Now, it's possible that this is happening because a lot of us are on this journey, and we tend to practice a form of meditation that allows us to kind of anchor in to the present moment. All of us will kind of have our own little niche on what we like to do and how we like to do it. And meditation is one of those things. Not all of us will sit quietly, with your legs crossed on the ground outside having a Buddha moment. That's what I call it, a Buddha moment. That meditation doesn't always have to be like that. Meditation can just be you spending time in nature, or just being in the present moment, being in tune to the present moment. Now, being in tune heightens sensitivity to physical, emotional, and or energetic stimuli. Now I've become hyper aware because my senses are already heightened. I've become hyper aware of the energy around me, especially solar and cosmic energy. I even get telltale signs when there's going to be a geomagnetic storm. It is crazy. I get hot feet when there's going to be a geomagnetic storm, and I get the hot feet, sometimes 3 days before the storm comes, or when there's going to be some spikes on the Schumann. I get these I'm so hyper aware around the full moon and the new moon. Like energy, oh man, just when you become aware and then you go through these levels, I think we hit a point where we become hyper aware. And if you don't know how to transmute that energy, it could definitely cause a lot of symptoms. And I can do another video on how the ascension affects your body. I know I've done one in the past, but if you don't acclimate to these, symptoms that you're feeling, it can send you into a fight or flight, and you don't know if you're living or dying. It's the easiest way I could put it. I've also noticed that I'm hyper aware of emotions, even if they are from people that are acting on television. TV has become something that I have to be very careful of how much I consume or what I consume. The people acting really do something to me. I think I'm absorbing what's going on emotionally, and it affects my nervous system. This is something that is kind of new for me, so it's something that I'm trying to work out. It's really got me fucked up, honestly. Like, I like watching medieval movies and Vikings and fighting scenes, and none of that ever messes with me. I like watching like scary movies, and none of that ever. Oh, I'm getting loud ringing noise in my right ear, like really high pitch. Confirmation. But normally that stuff doesn't bother me, and I never let it bother me. But now, I don't know, it's like I'm becoming one with the person that's acting, and I get all into it, and I start to absorb these emotions, and then I take it on, and then I start to feel that way, and then it comes into my reality. It's all messed up. I don't know what's going on. It's just all messed up. I get so involved, and I feel like, the character, and it stimulates me, and it's not always in a good way. So I do not watch the news. That's something I won't watch. That's too depressing, and they push too much fear, and fear will make you just lose your shit. Fear is false evidence appearing real, and you start to buy into that, and it can program you to obey and program you to get sick. And sick people tend to just go with the flow because they fear a painful death and yada yada yada, so they become compliant, da 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 da. So yeah, not only will your senses be heightened, you may struggle with like sleep, not getting enough sleep, or maybe you're sleeping more than you're used to. Maybe you're taking daytime naps. And if you are taking daytime naps, maybe you're only napping for like 5 minutes. You're taking these 5-minute power naps. And when you wake up from it, you feel like you slept an hour, and that's all you need. You might even be suffering with insomnia, stuff like that. So my advice to you is, if you feel tired, rest, because your body's asking for you to rest. Something's happening within you, and you need that rest, even if it's just for 5 minutes. You need it. Trust me, if you fight it, it will catch up to you, and you'll suffer. Take it from me. But I mean, like, if you're like me, I have to learn it for myself. But if you don't want to suffer, just listen to your body. Because I often fight my daytime naps. I don't like to take naps during the day. Sometimes, I do give in, but when I don't, I definitely suffer, and the suffering feels really disgusting. I feel weak and dizzy and cranky. I feel very sore, stuff like that. So you don't want to suffer. Now, if you cannot sleep, you need to meditate. I know that sounds cliche, but you need to meditate and learn how to clear your mind so that you can find peace. And when I say meditate, I mean learn how to breathe and learn how to clear your mind. Learn how to be in the moment and learn how to breathe. Learn how to breathe. Learn how to breathe. Remember that. Breathing. I know you're breathing right now, but you're not breathing properly. Most of us don't. Take those big deep breaths. Pranayama. Find peace within, okay? People that suffer with insomnia struggle with peace. They spend too much time in their past or their future worrying. Find peace. Number 13, you may have physical symptoms. And I know I said I'll do a video on physical symptoms, but a number of physical symptoms can accompany a spiritual awakening, like joint pain, headaches, leaky ears, feeling cold, feeling hot, feeling hungry or not hungry at all, feeling like you have the flu. I call it the ascension flu. Well, the spiritual community calls it the ascension flu, and it's a real thing, okay? And it doesn't last very long, so don't get so scared when I say that, but it's a real thing. Lasts maybe a couple hours to a day. It could even last, I don't know, 2 days max maybe. At least mine does, 2 days max. Heart palps, seeing flashes of light. Did I say fatigue? Well, the fatigue causes brain fog. Side note, even though these symptoms could be the awakening symptoms, they also could be a medical condition. So don't necessarily write them off as nothing or say, oh, well, Gabbie said they're ascension symptoms. No. If you're feeling something weird, go get checked out. If the doctor gives you a clean bill of health, then it could be ascension symptoms, okay? I feel like I'm getting stuffy. Ha! It's 1111 on the timestamp when I look down. Awesome. All right. Wow, I'm already an hour in. Number 14, a sudden change in your habits and routine. As your spiritual journey begins and transforms, so will your day-to-day life, including habits and routines. Maybe you used to get up and drink coffee and watch the news or read the newspaper. I don't know if people still do that, but yeah. I guess it depends on what your age is, honestly. And there's nothing wrong with that if you read the newspaper. It's all good. Maybe you get up and check Facebook while you're drinking your coffee. I don't know, So now things are starting to change. And now you make it a priority to drink coffee on your porch instead, or in the yard. Or maybe you quit drinking coffee and you start to drink tea or water or something else. Maybe you don't do any of that. Maybe you spend time sunning or sun gazing, once you wake up. Or you spend time in nature meditating, or, maybe your new morning ritual is sitting out in the yard naked. I don't know. Or maybe you've ditched all your old habits and, whatever wasn't serving you, you just ditched it all, and maybe you just made a few different healthier habits in your life now, whatever those habits may be. And that's all good. It's all good in the hood. I still love you. I definitely have made new habits. Number 15, increased empathy. As you begin feeling more connected to the world around you, you'll also have increased empathy regarding the suffering of others. Now, the prevalence of suffering may feel like it's impossible for you to ignore. Hence why you feel more called to be of service, like service to others. It's so, so, so important to learn how to ground yourself. If you don't learn how to ground yourself, absorbing the energy of the world around you will make you either feel crazy or feel very sick. And I did literally just do a video about grounding yourself, probably right before this video. I've actually made a lot of videos about grounding yourself. It's so important to ground yourself. I still forget sometimes not to consciously ground myself. Sometimes I just feel that I'm always grounded, and then you run into so much energy in the world around you that you're not just permanently grounded. You do have to consciously ground yourself and make it a habit. And I try to make it a permanent habit. I do forget I am human, because I'm an intuitive empath, and I absorb. And when I hear stories about, I don't know, like this past week has rocked my world. I just got done telling somebody about this. So my husband has stage 3 throat cancer. So that was a lot to absorb. And I did absorb. Even being grounded, I still felt like it leaked through and I absorbed. It's hard, when it's in your face. And then I was on TikTok scrolling, just like la 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 la. I was bored. Came across this woman's video that has 5 kids, and she found out she had uterus cancer or something like that. And then she beat it, and then she got test results back that said that she was back stage 4 and has 6 to 12 months to live. And she did all these stories, and I absorbed everything that she was going through and feeling every emotion that I would think that she would feel. And then I started to absorb what her kids would feel, and that really fucked me up. And that really put me in a bad place. And then we had a phone call from a friend telling us that their son has, son is the same age as my daughter, and they used to play together. He has cancer. He has leukemia. And I was like, wow. Then that fucked me up. I started to absorb shit from that. I just couldn't shake the feeling. And then every little ache and pain I got in my body, I was like, oh my God, what is that? What could it be? Could it be this? Could it be that? And then, of course, I Google it, and Google tells you it's everything in the world. And I know better. I'm telling you, you guys, I know better. I was doing things that I knew not to do, but I was doing it anyways. And it's because I was so ungrounded and so disconnected. I did this to myself. And once you go so far down your path, you've come so far on this journey, you've peeled back all these layers, and you become this, I don't know, this lotus flower, this beautiful flower. And you are this being of energy, of love, that is unprotected, will get attacked. And when the attacks come in, they come harsh. So that's why I stress that grounding yourself is so important, because I allowed all of that to happen to me, and I know better. And I was consumed in it, and all the feeling and weirdness that was in my body was emotion. And a lot of the irritation in my stomach, which is your nervous system, was everything I absorbed. And when I talked it out and really felt it out today, actually, I went and got an x-ray done. And the lady that did my x-ray was a light worker, a healer. And she asked me if I was an empath. She was real hesitant to ask me, because she said it's not something that she normally asks people. She didn't know how I would take it, because she didn't know if she was picking up on my energy or what. And I told her that I identify as an intuitive empath, and she was like, I knew it. And then she was telling me I'm going to be okay, and she was telling me, you got to remember, what goes on around you, you become. So if you're absorbing all that negativity, you're going to get that illness in this and this and this part of your body and that part of your body, and blah, blah, blah. And I know this. And then she, brought to my attention to consume chlorophyll. She goes on this thing about a holistic diet. And in that moment, I knew right there, when I asked for a sign, the universe put her on my path. And ever since then, I've been feeling good all day. Also, spiritually bad to the bone hit me up this morning too. I actually asked for the sign while I was in the shower. I got 2 of them today. It was her and him. And he said he had a message come through, and it had to do with eating and, just checking on my energy in general. And, I was like, whoa, that was weird, Because literally after I got out of the shower, I had a message on my phone after I asked for a sign, and I got that. And then shortly after that, I went for an x-ray and then came across the healer. So my day's been pretty good since, that had come into my reality and helped me anchor back in and ground myself and step back into my truth. And I feel strong again. I feel good. So yeah, it's very important to ground yourself. So if you are definitely new to this, please, if anything, just learn how to ground yourself. That's going to be the most important part of this journey, because grounding yourself is your shield. It's your protection. So I'm going to end this video with telling you guys that the actual spiritual awakening is just the first step on the long path to enlightenment, whatever that means to you, whatever enlightenment means to you. It's your first step on that long path. The initial awakening may happen in just a moment, but the process has many, many, many stages. And I want to go over these stages in another video. So maybe tomorrow I'll start working on that and do the follow-up to this video. So that's where I'm going to end. And I want to tell you guys, thank you for listening to me. Thank you for tuning in this long. I love you guys. I am very grateful for you all. And I'm sending all of you lots and lots of love, unconditional love, from my heart chakra to yours. And lots of light and lots of patience. And if you're new and you have questions, you can email me. My email's in the description box below. I try to get back to everybody, but also try to get to know the other people in your soul family by leaving a comment down below. They will answer you. I love you.